Recording in progress. All right, everybody sing along, muted where
Put
you are.
yourself though.
Been to I've been to BJ. I've searched all over for a place to pray. I found the mosh pit and knew that this was it. I am a MOShnik and I'm here to stay. And I'm turning gray. I found community that is in tune with me, singing and dancing in our Zoom-a-gog. Some contemplation mixed with elation. I am a MOShnik and I'm here to stay. And I'm turning gray. Oy vey. A chance to meet you, a chance to greet you, a time to deepen what it means to belong. Let's have some fun tonight and spread some joy and light, but no learning. I am a MOShnik and I'm here to stay. And I'm turning gray. Hey, Hoff, give us a little harmonica. Isn't it nice that we get to think of Hoff every Wednesday night, playing harmonica up there, Hendrix, Joplin. Alrighty, okie dokie. Hey, everybody. Oh, I was hoping other people snuck in, but they didn't. It's just us. Mira, what's for dinner? It's okay. So, well, you might not know that our beloved Devora was in the grocery store a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and a song came on. What was the song, Devora? Oh, wasn't you? Somebody
I
was
don't
in
think it was
the
me.
Oh, somebody was in the store, they told me, and Neil Young came on the song. And they say, wait, that's the Most theme song.
They play those songs in America too, not just in Canada.
Yeah. He's a good Canadian. Well, tonight is a very, very special night because we have with us, as we did last week, Mr. Scott Reiter. And Scott came up with this great idea. I thought it was a terrific one, mostly because I wouldn't have to prepare that much for it. But in the end, I did prepare a lot, but Scott is going to share first. And so, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Scott Reiter.
So after Rabbi Mark's session on music from Israel since the war started, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole where I go down a lot anyway, finding all this other music, some of which I knew already. And I thought, okay, well, let me share that as a follow-up to what we did last week. A lot of the songs last week were kind of quiet, I think. So I'm going to show you some stuff that's maybe a little different. I'm going to start off with one that's very challenging. But I didn't want to shy away from it, and I'll be interested in your reactions. It probably represents the way a lot of Israelis felt in November when it came out, and maybe lots of them still do. It's by this young duo who call themselves Nes Stila. Their names are Nesia Levi and Do Soroka. They, yeah, Mira knows this. They had a silly hit last year called Little Purse. I mean, it was a dancey, rappy thing, the kind of things that kids love. They probably had some other things, but I didn't spend a lot of time researching them. So this song is called Harbu Darbu. It was released on November 14th and it went to the top of many charts. Harbu Darbu is Arabic for different ways to interpret it: war and strike, something like that, kind of shock and awe. The song is full of righteous anger. It received mixed reaction in Israel, you should know, and pretty much condemnation from the rest of the world. The Hebrew lyrics are probably very hard to catch for anyone who isn't a Gen Z Israeli. They're hard to translate due to the slang, and there's lots of Arabic in it. I saw a few attempts on YouTube to do subtitles, most of which were not very good. I finally found one which was decent, but the subtitles took up so much room on the screen that it detracted from the video. So I decided I'm just going to show you the video with no subtitles, no words, and then I'll show you a translation that I put together from the things I could find. And you can react to that. But I think it's good just to watch the video and feel the emotion. So take it away, Rabbi Mark, in the control booth.
חבורת עכברים פאקרים יוצאים מהמחילה עושים אבו עלי הטמבלים וואלה מילה לא תהיה מחילה על מי אתה חושב שאתה בעל פה צועק פלסטין בחינה? תפי, יא בני עמלק חבלה שמאל ימין שמאל איך כל המדינה במודים מגליל עד אילת לוחמים לוחמות טובלבן ומג"ב קרקל ברדלס הבאנו את כל הצבא עליכם ונשבע לא תהיה מחילה תפי, יא בני עמלק כל היחידות מוכנות גולני נחלאווי שריון איפה גבעתי חיל הים חיל האוויר תותחנים צנחנים כל היחידות בצה"ל במוד לחרבו דרבו על הראש חפ גולני נחלאווי שריון איפה גבעתי כל הלוחמות באוויר על נזי איסוף וכפיר כל היחידות בצה"ל באים לחרבו דרבו על הראש שלהם
אתה תחת כי זה חיל האוויר מרגישים תרת את התל אוויר כל הבנות דופקות לחיילים בבתים וגם הוא בחדשות פתאום נראה לי חתיך הם צועקים עליי חינם פלסטין אבל משום מה זה נשמע לי כמו מבצע לחגים חצי דקה וכל המדינה במדים במילואים בסדיר כולם בשביל אמא ואבא כל החבר'ה שלי בחזית אחת לסבתא וסבא חושבים שמות על הפגזים לילד בעוטף עזה גליל עליון ומרכז גם כולם מוכנים לקטה רפק רפק
כל היחידות מוכנות גולני נחלאווי שריון חיל הים חיל האוויר תותחנים צנחנים כל היחידות בצה"ל במוד לחרבו דרבו על הראש חפ גולני נחלאווי שריון איפה גבעתי כל הלוחמות באוויר על נזי איסוף וכפיר כל היחידות בצה"ל באים לחרבו דרבו על הראש שלהם עוד איקס לנשקי כל קלפי ג'ומו חבו שנאפי להלכים גשם כחבות כל קלפי ג'ומו כל מי שתכנן, כל מי שתמך, כל מי שביצע, כל מי שרצח כל קלפי ג'ומו הסתבכת כל קלפי ג'ומו שמעת כל קלפי ג'ומו נסראללה כל קלפי ג'ומו מוחמד אף כל קלפי ג'ומו עניה כל קלפי ג'ומו אבו בקלאווה כל קלפי ג'ומו מלך הליטו הליפה מהקליפה כל קלפי ג'ומו כל היחידות בצה"ל באים לחרבו דרבו על הראש שלהם וואי וואי
So at the end, right before it says their name, it says in Hebrew and Arabic, Kol Kalb Jomo, which I actually figured out when I was listening to it. It means every dog has his day, which in English it means a good thing. Like you'll have a good thing happen to you. But when you call someone a dog in Arabic, it is not a good thing. So that was interesting. Rachel, did you catch any of the words? Yeah, she probably caught the bad words.
God, I just unmuted you.
It's Kol Kal B'Giomo.
Yeah.
Every dog gets his day. But I really didn't like that. I didn't like them at all. I mean, they were
you didn't have to like them. That wasn't the point. I'm going to show everyone else the translation.
He was very, very ready to finish everybody there, not only Hamas. I mean, killing and dying, and this will fight and this will fight. It's not a nice song.
No, I didn't say it was nice. I'm going to show.
I know. I'm glad I saw it. I never saw this thing.
Did you hear about it?
I've never seen this.
Yeah, I know you did, Mira. Anyway, I want to show people the words if I can share something.
In Arabic, the every dog has his day would be about revenge.
Right.
So you could take a minute. You get the idea. You might have gotten the idea anyway.
terrible. It's just terrible word.
I go on, or do you want me to? It's enough.
It's more than enough.
Reactions, questions?
At the end, when the song names like Bella Hadid and things like that, so are they being called out because of their heritage, or have they made major statements against Israel? What is the deal with calling out specific people?
They made statements supportive of the resistance, shall we say.
Mm.
And, you know, you even if you thought it was okay till then, it's a little over the top. You know, it's one thing to call out Nasrallah and Mohammed Dev and Hania and all these people. Once they go after celebrities for expressing their opinion, however distasteful, you know, they're saying they're going to get their day. Did they say they're going to go kill them? You know, no, because how could they anyway? Anyway, other reactions, questions. I had to admit the line about the way they translated "free Palestine," which isn't the way you would say it in Hebrew. Palestine b'chinam means Palestine for free. That's why I put it in the English that way. And then she says it sounds like a holiday sale, which I think is kind of funny.
I liked it.
So did I. I thought there were humorous parts to it. It's seeing it first, the intensity of every single moment, and then seeing the translation of it. It didn't lose anything in just reading the translation because she still had all of those images, for better or for worse, in my head.
You know, and there's the line where she says, "All my friends are at the front," and when she gets to that one, there's really a different emotion in her voice for a minute.
Yeah, I heard feel sorry for me and my whole generation.
Exactly. You know, I thought back when I was thinking about this, the phrase that came to me was "Nafadam al hador alonachon," that they used in the demonstrations last year. You picked a fight with the wrong generation. And that was about the people demonstrating against the judicial reform. But I think it applies very much to these kids.
Yeah, there was also a line about October Rain, and that just reminded me of the original Eurovision song before it was revised.
Marlena,
I didn't
you're
know
a
if it had been.
genius, because that's where we're going next. If
Scott,
I'm
Marlena has done as much research on these songs as you because she did a presentation for us.
Oh, wow. For who?
For the women's group that we have on Friday.
Oh, how cool. Okay, well, we're going to get there and it's going to be a lot nicer music. I mean, you know, still things
When,
to.
when was this song released?
It was released on November, if you want the exact date, 14th.
Yeah, okay. It's like,
It was just happening.
what do you expect?
Yeah.
I see a problem with it because when you look at him singing like this and saying all these things, there's no way in the world that anybody is going to sympathize with the country that he for. I mean, it's just really, really the way he sing it. It's really ugly.
Yes. But he didn't do it. They didn't do it for Hasbara, They did
Right.
it to express themselves. And in this world today,
Well,
unfortunately or fortunately, you can't just express yourself for your own crowd. It's
but
everywhere.
I have very young people that are in the army right now, in the Air Force and all that. They do not express themselves this way. I mean, this is not the way they talk. This is just he was
Because they're not rap singers.
right, exactly.
We have the same thing here. We're young people who,
Right.
you know,
But you are better, more understanding than I am. For that song,
I'm trying to understand everything without actually learning anything tonight. So, all right. Well,
Worth learning
Marlena,
Harbu Udarbu. It's worth learning that.
oh, they left out the ooh.
Harbu Darbu, yeah. Yeah, they left out.
Well, it kind of aligns with the
Wood Darbu.
Yeah, that happens. So thank you for this segue, Marlena. I was now going to talk about Eurovision. Maybe most of you know about that, the big song contest that they do in Europe. It's been going on for, I don't know, 70 years. Israel started participating in 1973. Even though they're not in Europe, they and many other non-European countries are members of the European Broadcasting Union, and that's who sponsors it. Israel won 4 times. 1973 with Abani B, 1979 with Hallelujah, that everybody probably knows, Hallelujah. In 1998 with Diva by Donna International, and then in 2018, Toy. Maybe you heard that from Netta Barzilai. And way back in the beginning, people mostly sang in their own language. It was actually required. And then over time, they went back and forth as to whether you had to or not. And now you don't have to. Most everybody's been singing in English for quite a while. They'll usually put some words in their own language in somewhere. A few of the countries will do a song entirely in their language. And Israel's been doing English for a while, but they usually slip in some Hebrew. This song has a little Hebrew at the end. The way this year, at least, they pick the person to compete is through a reality TV show called, how do you say it in English? Next Star to Eurovision. And I watched the whole season. It was really fun. I love those kind of shows. And the song is called Hurricane. As Marlena said, it was originally called October Rain, but the EBU said that was too political. Now that's in light of the fact that 2 years ago, I believe, Ukraine won with a song that was pretty darn Ukrainian political. But Israel doesn't get any slack. There's a line in the original, hours and hours and flowers, life is no game for cowards. And I think that's what they objected to. They said that flowers were a symbol, and maybe one that the IDF uses, I'm not sure, for dead soldiers. Like, okay, who would even know that anyway, right? So they rewrote the song. I actually think it's a little better. Somebody leaked the original version, and so now people are performing that. I'm sure there's all kinds of copyright issues with that, but I found videos on YouTube of people performing it and saying, we got nothing to hide. So anyway, I think having said all that, without further ado, Maestro.
Louder out my symphony, play with me, look into my eyes and see. People walk away but never say goodbye. Someone stole the moon tonight, took my light. Everything is black and white. Who's the fool who told you boys don't cry? Hours and hours and powers. Life is no game, but it's ours. Wild, the time goes wild. Every day I'm losing my mind, holding on in this mysterious ride, dancing in the storm. I got nothing to hide. Take it out and leave the world behind. hurricane. Living in a fantasy, ecstasy, everything is meant to be. We shall pass, but love will never die. Hours and hours and powers. Life is no game, but it's ours. Why? The time goes wild. Every day I'm losing my mind, holding on in this mysterious ride, dancing in the storm. I got nothing to hide. Take it all and leave the world behind. Baby, promise me you'll hold me again. I'm still broken from this hurricane. This hurricane. לא צריך מילים גדולות, רק תפילות, אפילו אם קשה לראות, תמיד אתה משאיר לי אור אחד קטן.
It gets harder every time I watch it because I see more and more symbolism in it. At the end, she says, we don't need big words, just prayers. Even when it's hard to see, somebody leaves a little light on, and then she looks up. So one of the things that you find on YouTube when all the Eurovision songs are released from all over is there's all these YouTuber kids who review the songs. People who are musicians, people who do other things, they're just, you know, fans of this. And I saw a few just random people, I didn't know who they were, and they were all pretty sympathetic. Most of them would say, you know, I'm not getting into politics, I'm reviewing this song. I think there were some who refused to even show it on their channels. And they were all very objective. And I'll tell you, the word I heard the most from the ones I saw was goosebumps. Plus, talking about what an absolutely amazing singer is, because she truly is an amazing singer. But then I saw there was this one in particular. I'm going to show you a bunch of what he said, because this kid really surprised me. Just this kid from Spain. I mean, he had other videos where he was teaching Spanish or doing something with music. And he did a very sympathetic review of it. I mean, he didn't get into too much of the actual events. And he got so many supportive comments, not just from people in Israel, not just from Jews around the world, but from all over the place. That because he was concerned whether he was going to get bad comments. You know, why did you review these people's video? And so he did actually a second video to talk about his reaction to all the comments that he got. And so we're going to look at a bunch of that. And then, yeah, people in his original review, somebody wrote, and this was obviously maybe somebody from Israel, I thought the comment section going to be a bloodbath. The extreme opposite makes me want to cry. That was the kind of reaction he got just to doing a nice review. And someone wrote so many positive comments about our song, and no one could understand the video in the song except you. Bravo. So here's this kid, Pedro Rivas from Spain.
So let me tell you what's going to happen, which is this video is, I forget exactly how long, but I'm going to be skipping through parts. And so you'll have to bear with me, because I'm going to stop the video and then forward it and then continue from where Scott instructed me to do so. Okay.
שלום וברוכים הבאים לסרטון חדש.
שלום וברוכים הבאים לשכתום סבש. Hello guys, what's up? Welcome to a new video. This video was not planned, okay? I posted yesterday my reaction to the song for Israel for Eurovision, and this was a really special reaction for me. And as soon as I posted it, I started receiving so much support and so many comments from you guys about this song that I was really moved. I was in my bed before sleeping, scrolling down through the comments, and I was getting so emotional. I almost started crying from all the love you guys showed me, and I don't think I deserve it. So yeah, I wanted to dig a bit deeper into the song and see what is the real meaning, and also to make this video to send a big thank you to all of you, and also a big hug, a lot of love from here from Spain. Eurovision is a very political TV show, so we don't know what will happen, but in our hearts, and in my heart, Israel is the winner this year. So yeah, and I can imagine, I was watching the song and listening yesterday with this very special vocalist voice from Eden Golan, sorry, and I can imagine everyone from Israel tearing up, because I almost do, and I'm from Spain, okay, like I didn't live what you lived in October. From you, I think that's absolutely insane, because actually this song by Eden Golan is Hurricane, but the first name was October Rain. We all know what happened in October. So the original name was October Rain, and they had to change the lyrics a couple of times due to complaints from Eurovision that it was too political. Again, it's a bit disappointing that we live in a world like this, but we do. So yeah, I guess they made a masterpiece anyway. They changed the lyrics, and now we have this song Hurricane that is still so powerful and so good that we are going to read the lyrics. We have here beautiful Eden Golan. Writer of my symphony, play with me, look into my eyes and see. People walk away but never say goodbye. Someone stole the moon tonight. They stole everything. They stole happiness, the moon. Took my light, everything is black and white. Who's the fool who told you boys don't cry? Hours and hours and powers. Life is no game, but it's ours, while the time goes wild. It's ours until somebody takes it from you. Every day I'm losing my mind, holding on in this mysterious ride. Holding on the tears, the sadness, the anxiety, all the feelings that you probably are feeling right now. Dancing in the storm, I've got nothing to hide. Take it out and leave the world behind. Baby, promise me you'll hold me again. This freaking line here always breaks me. Because look, I haven't lost anyone in a while. But I'm just putting myself in your shoes. And when Eden Golan sings this line, I'm like, don't you say it. Don't you say it, because it hurts. I can't imagine how you might be feeling. I just want to show and send you all my love and support in these moments. And I think this song is a great vehicle for it. Even though people might try to boycott it or to create like an anti-Israel campaign, whatever, okay? We are way above that, really. We know the truth, and we know, we know where we stand. I'm still broken from this hurricane. By the way, somebody commented on the video that the song from last year, Unicorn, was also about this conflict. And I just didn't notice. Like, living in Spain, you don't really realize what you are listening to sometimes. But Unicorn is also a song in this same, well, it's not about the October events because they hadn't happened yet, but it's also, when you read the lyrics again, you realize some hints here and there. And they made both Noah Kirel and Eden Golan, this one, they made a version of the song Unicorn, a more acoustic one. Thank you. Somebody commented that I should listen to it. Thank you so much for the one who did it. because I listened to it and I am in love with this version. Okay, you need to go and listen. Living in a fantasy, ecstasy, everything is meant to be. We shall pass, but love will never die. Okay, love will never die. The same, every day I'm losing my mind, holding on in this mysterious ride, dancing in the storm, I've got nothing to hide. Take it out and leave the world behind. Baby, promise me you'll hold me again. I'm still broken from this hurricane. And then it ends with this line. And it means, no big words, just prayers. Even if it's hard to see, you always leave me one small light. That's the moment when she's looking up. She's looking to God. And I said in the video, she's looking to the people who passed away. Who were killed, sorry. And she's saying these words. Prayers. If it's hard to see, you always leave me one small light. It's telling God that even in the times that everything seems so out of control, that God has left you and there is nowhere to go, you are in defenseless. God is still there. He's always around, you know, he's always next to us, even in the darkest moments. Silence this video and all that because of you know what already. So I'm gonna just interpret some images that we saw on the music video. This is Golan, you see, beautiful, but she has a hole on her t-shirt. And this shook me when I was watching and I thought, wow, this is a cool original top. But then I read in the comments, somebody said that this is the bullet hole. And then I thought, damn, makes sense. So there are a lot of signs on the lyrics on the video that point into the same direction. Okay? Much for your support. I don't think I deserve any of this, you know? Really. I don't deserve your support or your love. You deserve mine. And just because I made a video and gave my opinion doesn't make me anything. I just don't understand why people are always following the other current, like against what I'm positioned at. I just don't understand. I think it's trending or whatever to go against it, but I just don't understand. I made a video reaction to Golan's song, and of course I wanted to show my support to those who deserve it, and I think you all deserve my support. I wish things were different. I trust God that this will be different very soon. And we just gotta stay strong, you know. We have each other, and you can also reach me on Insta. I am a little more reachable there, so you can go there and follow and send me a message. I would be so happy to read it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little video. We can also have a little conversation down there. Anyway, and thanks again for all your support. Really, you made me so emotional last night, and I wanted to give back somehow, and I hope this video makes you a bit happy. You know that a lot of people like me watch and listen to your song and are moved inside and think about you and pray about you, pray for you. A lot of people are praying for all of you who are suffering, and I want to also show my gratitude and also my love for you all who are suffering and are of a kind heart. And I know you are, so yeah, it's time to say goodbye now, I guess. I don't want to cry before I leave, so hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again so much for all the support and the kind messages that I'm receiving. I just hope I can give you back at some point. See you soon, and thank you. Bye.
That kid just blew my mind. And he got supportive comments from all over in his comment section. There were people from Nigeria, Sweden, Denmark, Australia, Brazil, Spain, writing in French and Russian and Spanish. Only a couple anti-Israel things. He got a lot of comments from Israel too. I think the Israeli kids are like out in force trying to do some building up with people who are fair to them. One of the things he said, maybe in his original video, was, well, and you also notice the video, I mean, that all these broadcasting authorities, including Israel, spend a ton of money. I think Israel might spend more. That video production was just incredible. And I'm going to show the one from last year in case you haven't seen it, which was in some ways even more incredible. One of the, maybe it wasn't him, one of them said, well, if she can sing that well, you know, because sometimes in video productions, they do things with the voice and everything. And I'm going to show you in a minute or two her audition when she was on the TV show. So you won't have any doubt. Marlena really wants to say something. Go ahead.
I mean, yes, and I've showed some of us the audition. It's really cool. Her audition is great. But I put the words of October Rain when you were showing that because it's interesting. And Boys Don't Cry went to Fall in Flowers. But I just wanted to put this, because this is just a little bit of the rewrite. Dancing in the Storm, We Got Nothing to Hide, which the Cats, but take me home and leave the world behind. And I promise you that never again I'm wet from this October rain. And that's what they took out. Like you can see. Yeah.
And of course, Hamas called the whole operation Al-Aqsa flood. So they're taking from flood to hurricane rain.
Yeah, and her audition's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. So she appeared, her audition on the show was on November 20th, interestingly, a week after Harbu Darbu. That was completely coincidental. You know, they weren't even sure what they were going to do because they started informal auditions in the summer and they were going to broadcast starting, usually they start after the High Holy Days, and they didn't. But they made a decision. This was pretty much the only thing on TV other than the news in the beginning of the war. But they put it on and they did it very sensitively and acknowledged, you know, the hostages, and they had families and stuff like that. But the show must go on was kind of their attitude. So let's watch her her audition. You'll see what happens at the end, and we'll come back. Don't forget to spotlight. Here we go. We need sound, Rabbi Mark. Rabbi Mark, we need sound.
Whoa. But I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. What are we have each other? Yeah. We will rise, and we'll rise. Oh, 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 oh. We'll rise. I rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up, high like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
אוי, תודה אלוהים.
חברים, התחילה העונה.
וואו, וואו.
So here at the end, one of the judges, Shuli Maimon, says, wow, Toda Elohim, thank God. And then the other one says, now the season has really started. This was on the first show. She was the last one they put on because they knew how good she was. She is the only one in all the seasons of the show ever to get to 100%. The hosts come on and say that, although it's not in this particular clip. If you watch it actually on the TV station, you see that, and it's just amazing. She was born in Israel. Her family went back to Moscow when she was like 6 years old, I think. She speaks Hebrew with an accent. It's not a Russian accent. I think it's more of an English accent. She went to a British school. Her English is absolutely perfect. As you can kind of hear there, and she speaks kind of American English. Despite going to a British school. And they came back 2 years ago. Her father was a businessman. I'm very suspicious because they look very, very well off. And, she went to some fancy school in Moscow, and, her mother has had too many facelifts, if you notice there for a minute. I shouldn't say that. And she was in like the teenage pre-Eurovision contest in Russia. So she's had a lot of experience. As you can see, it shows. She's very so she's really going to tear up the stage. Who knows what will happen. Yeah, and the judges just went on. You noticed she got thumbs up from all of them, which doesn't always happen. And the last guy who gave her the vote, he's the one who's a real hard ass, and he very much doesn't like a lot of people unless they're absolutely outstanding. And then the rest of the votes came from the audience that got her all the way to the top. So that's that story. We have a few more minutes. We can watch the one from last year and the duet they did if we have time. Although I also want to do that Roy Kornblum thing. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, but we have plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, what a set of pipes she has. And you should be the first to know that she just a couple of hours ago agreed to be part of the MOShnik Cabaret at the retreat. So very excited about it.
I don't know.
You can thank Eliana and Bina.
She's gonna have to be in Sweden on May 11th. That's when. And the contest is in Malmo of all places, if you know what Malmo, Sweden is like these days. So that'll be interesting. So shall we go on to Unicorn?
Yeah, Noah Kira, right?
Right.
Okay, go ahead. All right, let's hit it.
You don't like the way I'm talking, hey? So you stand there, keep on calling me names. No, I'm not your enemy, so if you're gonna do it, don't do it. Hey, do you wanna check my DNA? All the stories time to go away and believe in fairy tales, oh. If you're gonna do it, I'm gonna stand in like a unicorn.
The power of a unicorn.
phenomenal. עלה כמו כולם, מול כל העולם, לא. It's gonna be phenomenal. Phenomenal. You can call me queen, אין לי דאווין, לא. You wanna see me dance? You wanna see me dance? You wanna see me dance? Watch me.
I just love that ending too. And when last year I just thought, okay, it's like about girl power, one of those kind of songs. And it really wasn't until I watched that Pedro Rivas review where he said people told him that was also about the situation about Israel. And if you think about it, out here on my own, just, like a unicorn, just being one of a kind, it really was very subliminal. And I have to admit, I didn't catch it last year. They obviously spent a lot of money on that video too. And if you saw her actual performance, it was kind of the same kind of thing. How are they going to do that? And obviously they couldn't do all of that, but she did a lot of it. And when she said, and by the way, she did her own dancing, that was her. When she said in Liverpool, watch me dance, everybody kind of went crazy because they knew it was coming, and she definitely danced. She came in third, so that wasn't too bad. Any other reactions? We can watch the next one, Mark. It's sort of a different take on this.
She reminds me of Adele. Yeah.
Spotlight, didn't we? And we need sound.
You're muted, Rabbi Mark.
So is
Hey, you don't like the way I'm talking, hey. So you stand or keep on calling me names. No, I'm not your enemy. If you're gonna do it, don't do it. Hey, do you wanna check my DNA? All the stories, time to go away and believe in fairy tales. Oh, I'm gonna stand you like a unicorn. I want you on my own. I got the power of a unicorn. Don't you ever learn? And then I won't look back, I won't look down. I'm going up, you better turn around. The power of a unicorn. The power of a unicorn. History caught in a loop. Don't you wanna change it? You know that we can, you and me can write a new book. Don't you wanna change it now? It's gonna be phenomenal. I'm gonna stand you like a unicorn. Out here on my own, I got the power of a unicorn. Don't you ever learn? And then I won't look back, I won't look down. I'm going up, you better turn around. I'm gonna send her like a unicorn out here on my own. I got the power of a unicorn. Don't you ever learn. I won't look back, I won't look down. I'm going up, you better turn around. The power of a unicorn. The power of a unicorn.
Phew.
Yeah, it really changes it, doesn't it? And they pulled in the symbolism of the tree and the moon again. And of course the scenery. History got in a loop. That line really stands out this time. Mira?
Can you say why there were the different versions? I didn't pick that up before.
Of the hurricane?
And of
Yeah.
unicorn.
Oh, unicorn. Well, the first one was the official video that they sent to Europe last year, the one where she ends up falling in the restaurant. Second one they just made after Ed and Golan got to be the official representative. At some point, they got them together. It said Khan. You probably saw that, the Israel Broadcasting Corporation, and made this one as well. Why? I don't exactly know why. Just, you know, I don't know. So the last thing that
Well, before you go there, I couldn't help
before I go
notice
there,
the tree, like it reminded me of Mosh.
Yeah, the tree is beautiful.
That's what I was going to say. How'd you get them to use the Mosh tree in the
yeah, I actually think it's also the symbol of the Golani Brigade, I'm pretty sure.
Ah,
Yeah. And it also has to do, I don't know if there were trees around where the dance festival was. There probably were. Yeah.
and the other thing I couldn't help but noticing was the length of her hair. When I met Renee, her hair was that length down to the way down her back to her waist.
Well, hers might have been real. You know, a lot of these young women have things attached. I forget what they're called.
Mine was
Right.
just attached to the top of my
Yeah, that's the best place. And then you don't have to go get it refit,
That's right.
which I hear costs a lot of money. I heard this about my nephew's wife, but that's another story.
So there's one more piece, Scott.
There
What's
is.
this
So I
last
came
one?
across this, and this is completely different, and it will probably speak for itself. So let's hit it. And make sure that
0.2%. לא בערך ולא ליד. כולה 15 מיליון איש מתוך 8 מיליארד. זה כלום, על הנייר. כי הכלום הזה אומר די הרבה לנסראללה או לסינואר. ואם להם זה אומר משהו, זה חייב להגיד משהו גם לי. להיות יהודי. זה הדת שלי, הלאום שלי, או שזה מי שאני. כי להיות יהודי זה יותר מבן גוריון, יותר משמעון פרס, יותר מביבי, גנץ, לפיד, או כל פוליטיקאי עם קרס. וזה בטח לא תלוי במזרחי, אשכנזי או תימני, כי הנה עובדה. אני רבע לובי, רבע אוקראיני, חצי מרוקאי, ועדיין יהודי. יהודי גרמני, יהודי אוסטרלי, יהודי אמריקאי, עדיין יהודי. יהודי בבארי, יהודי בקירת מלאכי, יהודי בירושלים, עדיין יהודי. זאת שמעלה תמונות בביקיני כל השבוע, אבל במוצא סטורי של הפרשת חלה. זה שיש לו על כל היד קעקוע, אבל גם תפילין בשביל הרגשה טובה. זה שרואה יהודי שהוא לא פגש מעולם, ומחבק אותו כאילו הוא מכיר אותו. זה שלא זוכר את התפילות בכיפור, אבל כשהחזן שר חטאנו לפניך, הוא ישיר איתו. ואז ישים לבן שלו צ'פחה שיצטרף אליו גם. זה שכל היום לומד בישיבה, מדבר עם ריבונו של עולם. זאת ששמה שביס, זאת שלא שמה על איש, זה שיגיד שהוא אתאיסט, ומבחינתו אין אלוהים. אבל כשהבן שלו ייכנס לעזה, עדיין נשחיל לו בתיק איזה ספר תהילים. זה שמתלהב שאנחנו כולה 0.2%, ועדיין זכינו במלא פרסי נובל. למרות שהוא כבר חצי שנה לא עובד. יושב בבית, רובץ, השן פייסל, רואה פרנדס. אבל אם ישמע על איזה 0 שצייר צלב קרס על דלת של בית ספר באיזה גינאה משוונית, הוא יתעצבן כאילו ציירו לו את זה על המכונית. אנחנו מיקס. חיימן, ג'ירה, גפילטה פיש, אלי, נועה קירל, יהודה המכבי, חנן בן ארי, אלי ויזל, אליהו הנביא, בני ברק, תל אביב, נתניה ופריז, באר שבע וקהיר. אז מה זה יהודי? מאיפה מתחילים להסביר? מה שעולה לי בראש כשאני חושב על יהודי, זה שני דברים שמושרשים לנו במסורת, מוסר ומחלוקת. אנחנו עם שחולה להתווכח, אבל אין לנו עניין בלנצח. להתווכח זה רק כדי להיות חכמים יותר, יהודים יותר. אפילו ביפן אנשים לומדים גמרא רק כדי להיות חדים יותר. והמוסר זה השורש שסביבו מתווכחים. הרי היהודים המציאו את המוסר שבו היום כולם חיים. דין שבין אדם לחברו, זכויות מול חובות, ערך החיים, יחס בין חולים לרופאים, היהודים המציאו את האתיקה. הרבה לפני אריסטו, ניטשה והרבה לפני אמריקה. המוסר לא בא מז'נבה, מרומא או מיוון, הוא בא מהרמב"ם, משלמה המלך, הוא בא מכאן. אבל לאחרונה, המחלוקות הפכו ריבים והריבים הפכו שנאה. הפחד מתחזק כשהאמונה מתערערת לנו. עשינו ברית עם אלוהים, אבל אנחנו לא מקיימים את החלק שלנו. זה שזוכר שיש בין כולנו חיבור של אלפי שנים, יש בינינו קשר. כל יהודי צריך להסתובב בעולם בהרגשה שהוא הבן של, שהוא אור לגויים. יש בעולם 8 מיליארד אנשים והכל חשוך, אבל לא צריך 8 מיליארד מנורות כדי להאיר הכל, מספיקים 0.2%. אבל אם גם אצלנו חשוך ואנחנו לא מוצאים את המתג עדיין, אז במקום להפנות אצבעות, כדאי שנתחיל מבדק בבית. כי אנחנו חתיכת עם קשה עורף. גם כשהביטחון בחוסר, הביטחון העצמי תמיד בעודף. לא יזיזו אותנו שמאלה, לא ימינה. והמונח קשה עורף מגיע מהתקופה שבה היו הורגים אנשים בגיליוטינה. יענו, יש לנו עורף שאי אפשר לחתוך. אבל אם ניתן לאור שלנו לדוח, הגיליוטינה לא תבוא מבחוץ. היא תבוא עלינו כאן מתוך. 0.2% זה לא רק כמה אנחנו בעולם. זה כמה אנחנו מבינים מה אנחנו בעולם. ובניסיון למצוא זהות, הלכנו לאיבוד. ב7 לאוקטובר הם לא צעקו יטבח אל ישראל, הם צעקו יטבח אל יהוד. אז אם רוצים שעמוד כן יהודי, לא כדאי שלפחות אלמד מה זה לחיות כיהודי? אני לא יודע מה המשמעות, אבל זה חייב להיות משמעותי. בדוק שזה נחוץ. וגם אם אני עדיין לא מבין מה זה אומר, אני יודע שזה יותר מלהיות רק 0.2%.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know much about him. He does a bunch of those kind of rap things, some with music, with other people. I came across, because YouTube tells you the next thing. He sat down and did an hour-long interview with this Haredi rabbi. It must have been a Chabad rabbi. He was talking about Kabbalah and the Zohar. And this guy Roy was very, very interested in talking to him. I guess this rabbi goes around everywhere. He's one of these people who, he'll go talk to anybody about anything, and talked about love and tolerance and how we all need to be one. It was a really interesting interview. So, all these interesting people out that we now can meet. His name is Roy Kornblum.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Rabbi Mark, is there some way we could send out the links, or I could do that? I have them.
Someone could drop them in the chat now. If you
I could do that. All right. Talk amongst yourselves, as they say. Where did I put it? Here it is.
For me, one of the most powerful images of the whole evening was in the hurricane video, the tree of life being turned upside down. That really, that will stay with me for a while. I know. Really powerful. And hanging in the air like that, as if there's more to be determined, more yet to come. Yeah.
Rabbi Mark, was that the last one you just put in the chat?
Yes, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kornblum.
Yeah. The other ones you can find easily if you just go on the internet or on YouTube and search for Eurovision 2024 Israel or Noah Curel. Or one thing always leads to another. That's the beauty of the internet.
Scott, I have a question about how the Eurovision used to work in the old days, because that song Hallelujah Al-Hashir was entered in 78 and won in 79, but I swear I learned it on the radio in 77. Could it have been popular before it was submitted in the old days when the contest wasn't like it is now?
You know, I am not a Eurovision expert by any means, so I don't know the answer to that. I think probably they have changed a lot over the years. I do know that, and so there may have been different ways that it was done in the past.
Because I swear I would run around singing that song, and I learned it on the radio, autobus.
I'm sure your recollection is correct, and that probably means that it was done differently.
Although, Mira, it would be really interesting to research because memory can be really, really funny. There's many times when people swear that they learned something
I
like
know,
that.
but where would I have learned it afterwards?
They're like Shlomo tunes that old people swear they grew up singing, standing next to their father in shul. So, there's something that becomes deeply familiar, and then you're positive
I know.
I really want you to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, well, I just looked up the author, the person who wrote it, and I couldn't get any further information.
It's out there. The truth is
out there. It's somewhere. I would have heard it in 77, or else where else would I have learned it? I still run around singing that song. It gets stuck in your head.
History got in a loop.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I love that one. I had found it too, and I think it's just extraordinary and interesting. But there's one that we both didn't show. You didn't, because I also thought about this. We both didn't do Modelet, Hanan Ben Ari's Homeland. And I was wondering if you were listening to it and thought about it.
I've seen it, I believe. I didn't think about it. But there are
I didn't
more weeks, and it was that was of the ilk of the ones that Rabbi Mark kind of did last time. So I was just going for something.
No, I wasn't suggested you show it, but I mean, it's very different from his other ones because it's not happy and jumping, and I didn't show it because it's not like typical of him. It doesn't really show him in it. But the last line, like from it, I'd like to kind of read. Like, it's interesting. It's very him because he's such a poet. And he's talking about Israel, and he says, "You are one and unique. You will always be my homeland. Even on the edge of the abyss, even in the middle of hell, you are heaven." And I just thought that's so him.
Yeah, thanks. There's a lot out there.
Yes, I want to share with you in the chat. That's a link to a Spotify song list from one of my go-to podcasts from Hartman called Identity Crisis, which is hosted by Yehuda Kurtzer. And last week when we did the Music of War Part 1, the next morning, I didn't know what I was going to be doing this week. And the next morning I woke up to the new podcast from Identity Crisis, and it was Music in Time of War. And mostly completely different song list than the one that came out from the podcast that I shared last week. And if you remember, a lot of those songs came from the album Milchama Ha'achrona, and Janice Rubin, who wasn't, and either she's not here tonight. She wasn't out last week, but she must have listened to the recording because she sent me a photo of the album, of the back cover of the album, which I think some of you might have said that you had it one time. I know, Scott, you said that you had it, and so it's funny how these things come together sometimes. That not knowing what I was going to present tonight, and then me, if presenting on music there's nothing more that I would rather do, and how in what I was going to present before Scott offered so generously to do this was more that's based upon this other podcast. So maybe we'll do that next week. It'll be part 3. And it's a lot of the old songs, which you see if you click on it, but also a lot of the songs that were sung right after October 7th, songs that were reclaimed, songs that were written before October 7th. Livkot Lecha, I think, was one of them. I'm crying for you.
Let's say Midikaon was also written before. Let's say Midikaon was also written before, Getting Out of Depression. but he
Oh,
became
right, because I showed that. When did I show? I showed that as part of a prayerful gathering, I think, one night, or maybe it was for a Wednesday night. I forget. That's right. It was a song about his friends going through depression, and that line about packing bags to go to Australia was a very personal thing about his friend, and then they reclaimed it and started using it after October 7th. Interesting how that happens. Or you going to say something else, Scott?
No, I'm just looking at the list. Oh, Ben Hayam Vanal, Between the River and the Sea is, I think, new too. Yoni Bloch.
Yeah. And then I learned from, I mean, I don't know a lot about these composers, but that Am Yisrael El Chai, a new version of it came out by Eyal Golan, and I just needed to confirm with my son and my daughter-in-law that he's not a very liked person. Because some really terrible things that he's been accused of doing.
Yeah. But was a very popular singer.
But a very popular singer in spite of that. Yeah. Rachel, any reflections on tonight that you'd like to offer?
No, I totally don't know any of these songs or any of them, they're so new. And but it's just so beautiful. The girl just in the Euro, she's just amazing. The way she sings.
She's
And,
20 years old, by the way. 21.
Well, maybe next week, Rachel, we'll get back to the oldies. Well,
your
thank you.
list that you put in the chat has oldies and newies, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's what it was concentrating on.
So is Eden Golan a stage name?
Say it again?
Is her name Eden Golan? Is that a stage name? It couldn't be more perfect.
It couldn't be
Not
more
only
perfect.
that, I'm sure it was it's a stage name, because if she's Russian, where would she get a Dan Golan?
I know.
Right.
Well, but remember, her family lived in Israel when she was born.
Yeah, she was born in Israel.
So the fact that they named her Eden, it was a very, popular name. And, they might have changed her name from, Golamsky or something to Golan. That's what people do.
This is Googleable.
Googleable.
It's a beautiful name. It's just really beautiful.
It's perfect.
Well, let's give another shout out for Scott.
This was fun, and I hope you didn't learn a thing. That's a joke.
It is an in-joke, and I'm going to forget anything that I might have learned, so you can feel secure in that, Scott. Thanks, everybody. And again, there were 9 of us. We all got a lot out of it. And it's just like when Renee and I, in the old days, sometimes we do a performance for like a handful of people who would show up, and we go, well, they're going to find out what they missed.
Yeah, and the tickets were cheap.
Although the best one, what?
No, go ahead.
What did you say?
I
was going to say the best performance we ever did. I think my internet's weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The best performance we ever did for a handful of people was when the Palm Beach JCC, I think, flew us down and paid us an outrageous sum of money. And then, I don't know, forgot to advertise it. And I think we did a performance for less than 12 people.
No, wait a second. I have to disagree with you, Renee, because I think that we went to Vail and we were booked in a world-class auditorium where symphonies played, and there were so few people who came. We invited them onto the stage with us, and we set up chairs.
It was just ridiculous to watch them from this huge stage, and them in the 8 seats of this 1,000-person auditorium. And we stayed. Do you remember? And most of the people there were one family, and we played multiple events for their family, and they came to visit us in Washington.
And I always like to joke that we got paid more per person than you would pay for a scalped Springsteen ticket.
Oh, good.
Totally good. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that show.
Spinal Tap.
Can I say something, please?
Yeah, please.
Mark, I read about your dad's yard site today.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is beautiful. It
Oh,
is
thank you.
wonderful what you wrote about him. It's just really
Rachel is referring to a Facebook post I made today of something I wrote on my blog many years ago, but it still holds up because it was about my dad's yard site. And yeah, thank you for that. It was very meaningful to go back on it. My sister wrote to me that I had her in tears. So I get it did its job. Yeah.
beautiful.
All righty. Laila Tov, thank you,